Hey Crafty peeps, it's Megan from Cluttered Crafter, and today's video is a collaboration video with Crafty Kitty. This collaboration, there's a whole bunch of other YouTubers, and I will link them all down below, all their channels who are participating. And this collaboration challenge was to make a decor item using items from Dollar Tree. And I don't actually have a Dollar Tree here, but I do have a Dollarama, and it's essentially the same thing. And the only items that I used that weren't from the Dollar Tree were my Memento ink pad to ink up the edges of the images that I used, and the images I printed off. I just went on Pinterest and searched up some vintage images. And then also I used my tacky glue because I really wanted a strong hold for the lace that I used later on in the video. So here I'm just trimming up the vintage images. They were actually meant to be tags, but I decided to cut them down so I can fit them onto my canvas. I believe the canvas that I used is a 5x7, and I did get it at Dollarama. And then I go through my stash, and this is stuff that I had a while ago that I had bought from the dollar store maybe last year, and I still have a little bit of it left. And it's just some tissue paper and a doily. So I'm just using some regular white glue and an old gift card to spread out the glue. I wanted to add the tissue paper to add a little bit of texture. I didn't really want the canvas to be flat. I really like adding texture to things, and my favorite thing to use for added texture is adding tissue paper and doilies. So I'm just going around the edges now with the excess glue that's on the gift card and making sure the edges of the tissue paper are adhered down, and I'm just cutting off the excess bit of tissue paper that was hanging over the sides. Once I laid the canvas off to the side to dry, which I'll be doing that in a minute, I'm still going through and making sure I have the edges adhered down really good. But once I lay that off to the side, I go ahead and mix up the paint colors that I'm using. I'm using acrylic paint for this project, and the colors that I use is a tropical blue, an antique white, just regular white, which I end up not actually using, and then a Christmas green. And because the blue and the green were a little more bright than what I wanted, I mixed in a little bit of the white and the antique white to make it a more pale blue and more pale green. It kind of had a yellow tinge to it because of the antique white. On camera, the blue and the green look a lot paler than what it actually was, but in person, those colors are more bright. And I'm just using an old glow stick I had to mix up those colors. I was originally just going to use white to mix the colors and to make it lighter, but I wanted to add a tinge of yellow cream to the color, so I figured then I would go ahead and add in the antique white to those two colors. And now that the canvas is dry, I also used a baby wipe to help spread the color, but I use a big flat brush to add the main color, and then I go over it with the baby wipe to blend the colors together. I mainly used antique white, it's like a cream ivory color. I mainly used that for the bulk of the color for the main color, and then I added pops of the pale blue and pale green. So you can see here I'm just spreading the color with the paintbrush and then dabbing it with the wet wipe to spread it a little bit more, and it also mutes the color because it was still kind of bright when I added the color onto the canvas, and I really wanted it muted and pale. So the baby wipe helped with muting the color. I wanted the antique white, the ivory, to show through more. So I keep going over with the cream color, even over the blue and the green. I wanted the canvas to have more blue shades in it than the green, because the images had more of a green tone to them and a few pops of blue in it. And then now I'm just playing around with the doily, trying to figure out where I wanted that to go. And I really fussed around with it a lot, so I wasn't sure how I wanted it to go on the canvas. I just knew I wanted it, and I knew where I wanted the images to go. So now I just put the doily off to the side and figured I will find a spot for that later. Then I go in with some book text. I'm pretty sure I did get this book at the dollar store years ago. It was fairly inexpensive, even if it wasn't from the dollar store, but I'm pretty sure it was from there. And you can get books from the dollar store, so that's a great place if you're looking for a book to use the pages into projects. You totally check out your local dollar store. And I just ripped them into smaller pieces, and I'm using the white glue to adhere that down. I'm going over the edges again to make sure it's completely adhered down. I didn't want to put the glue over top of the whole text page because I didn't want the texture of the glue covering the whole page, but I didn't mind it on the edges of the page because I still want it to be able to feel the actual page of the book. So I just made a little cluster at the bottom and then a bigger cluster going across the top of the page in sort of a diagonal. And I do realize that most of the book text on the left side of the canvas gets covered by the images, but I don't mind that. And here I decided to just use the intricate, like dainty part of the doily instead of the solid white in the center. I thought that would be different to use it that way. So now I'm just trying to figure out where I want to place it. And I decided to go with up at the top where I originally had it in the first place. And I'm just using some double-sided tape to adhere that down. I will say, I do like how the canvas turned out. But the one thing I wish that I didn't put on the canvas, which you'll see later in the video, are the sequins. I wish I kind of just kept them towards the right side of the canvas. But I still like how it turned out overall. It's just I didn't really have a set thing in mind that I wanted to do. I was kind of just playing around with the stuff I had and just placing stuff down. I didn't really have like a sketch done out of what I wanted. I was just going where my heart told me to place the items. So there you just saw me. I was trimming out the lace so I can put it around the canvas, and now I'm playing around with this little strip. It's from, I think it's K & Company, and it's like Christmas border strips, but I thought it looked really nice with the vintage theme, and I really wanted to use it. So I had a lot of trouble trying to figure out where to put it. So I used it as a layering piece underneath the images, and I had quite a bit of hard time trying to get the backing off of the sticker. But I ended up putting it alongside of the images and on like the top corner of one. Then after that, I adhered down the 2 images because I know that's where I want them to go. I centered the canvas around the images being in that corner on that side of the canvas, and I'm just using my double-sided tear tape here to adhere those down. I probably could have used glue, wet glue, for adhering the images down because I'm not sure how well it's going to stick since it's a canvas. I'd never used my double-sided tear tape on a canvas until I done this project, but so far it's holding up. I might go back later on and maybe add some wet glue just in case, but so far it's holding up, it's doing good. And now I'm just adhering down the lace around the canvas. I wanted the lace to be almost like a frame for the canvas. I was originally first just going to have the lace down on the bottom portion of the canvas, but then I thought framing it would look a lot better, at least in my mind I thought it would be, so that's what I ended up doing. And I'm just using my tacky glue to adhere that down, and I did get glue all over me because of this lace. So I was picking glue off my fingers for quite a while after I had this canvas done. And that's the last bit of lace that I put on. And this is like, it's not completely white. It's like an ivory color, like a cream colored lace. And I'm after having it a few times before from Dollarama, and I really love it. I need to get some more of this lace because I'm planning on using this for a DIY dream catcher that I'm hoping to get done soon, so look out for that video, but I'm not sure how soon because I still have to get all the materials and work out how I want it to be before I make the video. And now I'm just going in with some blue sequins. These sequins came in a pack with about 10 different shades of blue in the sequins. Like there's some clear, there's some metallic, there's a pastel blue, and there's like a solid pastel blue. So I'm just going through the little container and pulling out some of these sequins to adhere those down with the tacky glue. So I'm not really happy with the sequins being all over the place, like I said before in the video, but I still overall like the canvas. I'm not sure if I'm able to take up the sequins since it's all dried and move them to the right, but I might just leave it. I think the more that I have it on my wall, I think the more I'll like it. I just have to get used to it because I don't have anything like this in my room, so it's kind of a little out of place. But I really like vintage stuff, and it's my first altered canvas, so since it's my first, I didn't really expect it to be completely perfect or go the way I had envisioned it when I didn't really have a set vision for it. And then I also added some white pearls to it besides the blue sequins, and I'm just going through my stickers here, my word stickers, to try and figure out what word I want to put on it. And I hope you guys like this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye and happy crafting, and don't forget to check out all of the other videos for this collaboration.